Hey tribe, welcome back to my channel. Today my son together with Pam are the directors at the big day. School holidays, okay? So today I'm answering your question, and the question is, can we have more tips and advice on renovating? What would you recommend, and what was a waste of money? And I think this person, this tribe member, obviously follows me. I have another channel which is called Kena with my Balo, and here I do everything: home decor, cooking, all this other stuff that I enjoy outside of finance. Okay, so we did a renovation last year of the kitchen, so I'll be taking you through some of the practical tips, some of the not so fun things about renovating, but also the lessons, of course. Okay, the first thing is you should have a plan. All right, what is the type of design you have in mind? So before you meet with contractors, before you start with anything else, scroll through Pinterest and see, what is my design style? What type of if it's a kitchen, what type of kitchen do I envision to have in my home? Okay, so I think that's the first thing. Have a plan, have the design you want in mind, think about that vision. I mean, I remember I love Pinterest. I'm actually more on Pinterest than I am on any social media platform, because there are no people, number one. It's just objects that I love. I don't get an opinion about anything or anyone. So I absolutely thoroughly love Pinterest. So I had even a folder just on kitchens, and I'll show my husband all the time, like, oh no, I think this one would be perfect. And I'll scroll through and through and through and through, and obviously go with one that would suit the type of space that you do have. Because yes, I think it's wonderful and all to see a kitchen that looks magnificent, but when you think about the type of home you do have, you always have to just come back to that as well. So definitely have a plan, have a design in mind. Then the second thing, what is the feel that you're trying to go for in your home, is in that area. And also think about, how do you use the space as a family? Pam was saying, if you are a baker, obviously there are things that will be more prominent, that will take more priority than someone who's not a baker. I'm not a baker. I don't care to bake. I see, baking stuff, it does nothing for me. I'm just like, okay, I think that would be fantastic. But you need to have an idea or get a feel of what would you like your place to your space to operate like. So I think those are very important things. I know a lot of times you want to get into the finances quickly, but all of those things are really, really important. Then go to places like Leroy Merlin. I know they have places where they sell kitchens only. Go to Kramerville, look at different designs, look at the look and feel. I think that comes in very handy. Then you also want your place to be beautiful, but it has to be functional. So I think going back to the fact that if you're a baker, you want to have more space for your baking equipment. If you are sort of a chef or someone who loves really amazing food, you want maybe more counter space or space to put your knives and that sort of thing. What were you saying? Or if you're an entertainer, I think I'm an entertainer. If you're an entertainer, do you want your counter space to be a little bit more, so that when you're plating out or that sort of thing. So I think all of those, so those are the planning stages. So we're not even yet at actually the renovating part, but even before you get into the renovation, and I think it takes time, because it's such a solid thing. You're not going to change your kitchen every 2 years. I wouldn't want to do that even if I had the money for it, because you're just having people, man, in your house. By the time they were done, I said, I do not want to see men. I said, I do not want to see men. I am tired of seeing men every single day just coming in and out. I said, the only men, obviously I have boys. I said, the only people I want to see are men from this house and no one else. So I think that's very important, that that design is going to last you for a little bit longer. You're going to enjoy it for way, 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 way longer. Okay. Then I think another thing to think about is, what are you willing to compromise on, and what are you not willing to compromise on? And I think when it comes to this conversation, people are always talking about what are you willing to compromise on, and just in every area. but there are things that you should definitely not try to compromise on at all. So for me, what were the things that I was not trying to compromise on? I think that that's just the overall quality of the kitchen, and the look. I remember even when we went to look at the wood, what were the cabinets going to look like. I just remember I was like, God, you need to give me more money because everything I love is a little bit pricier, and I was not willing to go for a wood that was lower grade. Just because I wanted to feel fantastic when I'm in the kitchen. And even today, even to this day, I'm still very proud of how it has turned out. I'm very proud of the quality material that we used, right? But what I was willing to compromise on was, your fixtures, in terms of the sink, in terms of the tap. I remember we went to Kramerville and there was this tap. Oh my gosh, it looked amazing. So I was on Pinterest and I knew that, okay, this is the type of tap I wanted. I went there, it was 12,000. I said, 12,000 for a tap? I said, not yet. Maybe soon enough I'll be able to do that. But I said, nah. And then we got a tap at Leroy Merlin, which I think still fits very nicely into the overall look. What else was then your fridge. I'm not too crazy about brands when it comes to a fridge. It's a fridge. It freezes stuff. You put your food, it gets cold. Dishwasher, washing machine. It's a dishwasher. And they're all silver. And they're all silver at the end of the day. So I was not very fussy about that. I guess unless if you're like a person who likes your smeg, because they come in different. But also I think what you're willing to compromise on and what you're not willing to compromise on, it depends on the type of home that you do have. So for me, I know that this is not my forever home. We're not going to live here forever. We're going to get another home. So I was like, then you spend so much, you invest so much into it, and you're gonna leave it. It didn't make sense. So it had to be definitely the cabinets, the cupboards had to be really, really good quality material. Even when you touch it, it's very nice. One thing that kind of threw me off completely, and we're gonna talk about it a little bit more under budgeting. It was the countertop. The countertop, your Caesar stone, or you can have marble. I can't remember which one we have. I think it's a Caesar stone. I can't remember. I might be lying. But it's a really, really, really beautiful countertop. And when we initially got a quote, maybe we got it through shady people, because what it eventually came to was about 4 times the initial price. And I remember there was a week where nothing happened because I was like, we have this money, but I just need a week to bring myself and actually say, okay, it's fine, we can spend this type of money. So things that you're willing to compromise on and odd. And I think it goes nicely with your budget, that even before you start with the process, a year ahead or however long, think of the budget that you are willing to spend. Think of the money that you're willing to spend on the kitchen or on the renovation. It might be a bathroom, it might be a bedroom, it might be any area. Think about the budget. But on top of that, have some room for for it to be way more expensive. So remember, you've gone to kitchen places, you've gone to Leroy Merlin, you've gone to all these places where they show you, okay, for this square footage, this is how much you would pay. But on top of that, just put an extra 30% of your budget. So if your budget is 100,000, make sure you have 130,000, because something will come up that will throw you off. For example, with me, that was the countertop. I was shooketh. I remember at some point, because initially in the kitchen we didn't have like a waterfall feature of the stone of the countertop, and obviously this time around we wanted the waterfall feature. And I remember looking at my husband, it's like, we survived without a waterfall. Why do you need a waterfall all of a sudden? And he was like, come on, you're not gonna really love it if it's not a waterfall. And I'm glad we went with that, but it took me an extra week to make that decision. And actually it's okay to take your time. I know it might be annoying. Like I said, I was just tired of people coming in. I was tired of not having the space clean, because I like my things in order. I like my space to be clean. And I just said, I just need a week to consider all my options, take a look around, do what I need to do. but eventually we had to buy it, and I'm very, very happy that we went with that. So budgeting, very important. And I think it's much easier to just say, no, I'll use credit for the unforeseen stuff. So I think it's very good to be thorough and say, okay, I will need this much, but still add an extra on top of that, because trust me, something will definitely come up. Yeah, so always leave room for more expenses. Then the last one I think is very, very important. Without this, you cannot have a good kitchen, you cannot have a good experience when you are renovating any part of your house. The type of contractor that you have, you know how many people were saying their experience was terrible just because of the contractor they have. And with us, and I think this is the most advisable thing, if you're going to use a contractor, go with someone who has been a referral. So someone has used them before and they've had a good experience. And that's what we did. It was a friend who had renovated their kitchen, and we liked the work, we liked the quality and just how they did things, and they never had problems with that guy. And even with me, I can still say I have never ever had a problem with him, ever. He was absolutely brilliant, and I even recommended him to everyone. But someone told me that they were having trouble with him. So again, Pam, your phone, ma'am. So, you can have a very good experience, but someone else might not have a good experience. I don't know how these things work out, but I think if you can sort of kind of gauge what this person is about. I always say go back to your gut feeling, right, about the person, because someone else can say, oh no, I had such an amazing experience, and truly they could have, but remember also it depends on their relationship or on your relationship. You could be sitting with the same person and feel like this is not for me. So I think as fantastic and as good referrals are, you still must make that decision for yourself to say, okay, do I feel this person? Do I feel like it's a good match? Do I feel like it's a good fit? Then the last thing also, when it comes to contractors, communicate exactly what it is that you want. I know sometimes people are afraid to tell people like, no, I want it like this. No, or yes, this is what I thought I wanted before, but now looking at how it's coming together, I would actually prefer this over here. So also communicate. They are not mind readers. You need to tell them exactly how you want the final product to be. But also come on, come on with them and say, okay, that was the initial thought. How much is this going to cost? How much extra is it going to cost? Because, you also can't keep on changing as and when you go, but you're not willing to pay. So I think that relationship goes both ways, that you're willing to be open to say, this is what I have in mind now, and let them know that, okay, I know initially you had quoted this much, but I have a little bit of room. Can we accommodate it within this means? Okay. And also another thing with contractors, you can go through a registered company. So don't just pick someone sitting off the streets, or someone Pam said, oh no, my uncle, I think he has built a cupboard before. He can build your whole kitchen. So ask also to see their previous work. If they have any recommendations, ask to see them. What have people said? What if they have a page? Mine unfortunately didn't have a page, but he is brilliant at what he does. So again, it always goes back to how you have perceived that person. What did you feel about that person when you were talking to them? All right. So it's the school holidays. We're about to wrap this up because my kids are here. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know about your renovating woes or renovating bliss. Okay.
Link in the bio to Kena so they can see the kitchen.
Oh yes. So Pam is just reminding me that I'm gonna leave the bio to Kena. My son literally saying shh, the smallest boy is like shh in the background. Become a mom, you will see. We'll leave the link to Kena so you can see the kitchen, what it looks like. But yeah, just take consideration of all of those things that we've spoken about. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.